This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Malarachi and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, to take a look at the headlines. The President says the ideology that brought him into power must be protected from the enemy forces. The President stressed that the government will leave no room for the culprits who were responsible for the Easter Sunday attack to escape from the law. The Cabinet Subcommittee is to submit its report on the recommendations on the Easter Sunday Attack Commission to the President tomorrow. The Prime Minister proposes a Parliamentary Select Committee to address the shortcomings in the electoral systems. Over 12,000 police officers and armed force personnel have been deployed to cover all churches in Sri Lanka for the Easter Sunday service. In news overseas, France enters third national lockdown amid ICU surge. And in sports news, Bangladesh cricket team will arrive in Sri Lanka on the 12th of this month. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the local news. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that the ideology that brought him into power must be protected from the enemy forces who wage a false propaganda campaign to defeat that ideology, and he is committed to fulfill his promises to the people. The President said that the aim of the false propaganda carried out by the enemy forces is to defeat this ideology. He said that he is fulfilling his promises to the people. President Rajapaksa said that the economy that has collapsed when he came into power is now being developed as a local green economy even in the midst of the COVID pandemic. He called on the people to blame him if he could not solve the problems of the people during his tenure. The President made these remarks while addressing a gathering at the inauguration of the 17th Gama Samaga Pilisandara program held yesterday at the Bogaswava Mahavidyalaya premises in the Vadiveithakal Grama Niladhari division of the Vavuniya North Division Secretariat Division in the Vavuniya district of the Northern Province. The President further said that the quality of all goods imported for consumption is regularly inspected. A consignment of imported coconut oil was found unfit for consumption as a result of such investigations. He pointed out that it is the responsibility of the relevant agencies to ensure the quality of consumer goods by conducting continuous inspections. The President added that the cultivation of the Katupol oil palm, which was causing serious damage to the environment, has been completely banned. Recognizing the beneficial effects of the coconut oil consumption, the import of palm oil was stopped. The President also instructed the officials to take the steps to solve the drinking water problem that has existed for decades in the Vavuniya district within a year. The Christian community all around the world marks the Easter Sunday today. Easter is the celebration of Christ's resurrection from the dead. It marks the end of the Holy Week, the end of Lent, the last day of Easter Triduum, thus Holy Thursday, Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and it is the beginning of the Easter season of the liturgical year. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in his Easter Sunday message said they will leave no room for the culprits as well as groups who were responsible for the deadly attack on 2019 Easter Sunday to escape the long arm of the law. The government is determined to ensure national security to prevent recurrence of such tragedies in the country. The President said that the sorrowful memory of pain and loss caused by the tragic incident had not faded away from the broken hearts of the sovereign people even today. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the government will take all responsible persons before the law and achieve justice to the victims of the Easter Sunday attacks. The Cabinet Subcommittee appointed to study the recommendation of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the Easter Sunday attacks is scheduled to submit its report to the President tomorrow. The report will be released to the public after it is handed over to the President. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa recently appointed this Cabinet Subcommittee to study in depth the findings and recommendations contained in the report on the Easter Sunday attack and to advise on the next course of action. The report of the new committee was due to be submitted on the 15th of March, and the committee took another 2 weeks to investigate further. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
And we continue with more local news. A proposal made by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to appoint a parliamentary select committee to identify shortcomings in the current election laws and the electoral system will be tabled in Parliament tomorrow. Secretary General of the Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayaka, says that the motion for the appointment of the Select Committee of Parliament to identify appropriate reforms of the election laws and the electoral system and to recommend necessary amendments will be moved by the Leader of the House and the Foreign Minister, Dinesh Gunawardena, at the time of adjournment tomorrow. The Secretary General said that the relevant Parliamentary Select Committee consists of 50 members and according to the motion, the committee should submit its recommendation within 6 months after its appointment by the Speaker. It is the responsibility of this committee to identify shortcomings of the existing electoral system and its structure and to make recommendations with regard to the amendments. The Parliament will convene for 5 days from tomorrow. Sri Lanka has confirmed 167 more positive cases of COVID-19 yesterday. According to the Department of Government Information, the country has confirmed a total of 93,295 positive cases since the outbreak of the pandemic. However, 2,695 of them are still under medical care at designated hospitals and treatment centres across the island. Meanwhile, the death toll from the virus stands at 579. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The president says the ideology that brought him into power must be protected from the enemy forces. The president stressed that the government will leave no room for the culprits who were responsible for the Easter Sunday attack to escape from the law. The Cabinet Subcommittee is to submit its report on the recommendations of the Easter Sunday Attack Commission to the President tomorrow. The Prime Minister proposes a Parliament Select Committee to address the shortcomings in the electoral system. Over 12,000 police officers and armed force personnel have been deployed to cover all churches in Sri Lanka for the Easter Sunday service. And that was the local news.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The main news story for this morning, police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said that more than 12,000 police officers and armed forces personnel have been deployed to cover all churches in Sri Lanka for the Easter Sunday services. He said that the special security arrangement has been implemented following a circular issued by the IGP. 9,365 police officers and STF have been deployed for duty, while 2,522 members of the three armed forces will be patrolling to provide security. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And in Watchlight this morning, Chairman of the Nelua Pradesh Sabha, MIG Sunil, says that no road is built across the Singaraja forest. He said that trees are not removed from the forest for development activities. He said that the Lankagama road was built according to the request to the president made by the people in the area. He said that communication issue in the area has also been solved. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polywasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. France enters third national lockdown amid ICU surge. Jordan's Prince Hamza bin Hussein under house arrest. Graffiti art defaced by spectators at South Korea gallery. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. France has entered its third national lockdown as it battles a surge in cases of COVID-19 that threatens to overwhelm the country's hospitals. All schools and non-essential shops will shut for 4 weeks and a curfew will be in place. On Friday, a number of serious ill COVID patients in intensive care units increased by 145, the biggest jump in 5 months. President Emmanuel Macron has promised more hospital beds for COVID patients. The former Crown Prince of Jordan says that he has been placed under house arrest as a part of a crackdown on critics. In a video passed to the BBC by his lawyer, Prince Hamza bin Hussein, the half-brother of King Abdullah, accuses the country's leaders of corruption, incompetence and harassment. It comes after a number of high-level arrests said to be linked to an alleged coup plot. The military earlier denied Prince Hamza was under house arrest. Graffiti artwork on display in South Korea has been damaged by a couple who thought that brushes and paint laid in front of the piece were for the visitors' use. They thought that they could be allowed to do so, that the participatory art was, and it was made a mistake. The head of the exhibition in Seoul told Reuters news agency. After a staff spotted the fresh brushstrokes, CCTV footage identified the accidental vandals, a man and a woman in their 20s. The untitled piece is estimated to be worth about $500,000 USD. It was painted by a US graffiti artist in front of an audience in Seoul in the year 2016. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. France enters third national lockdown amid ICU surge. Jordan's Prince Hamza bin Hussein under house arrest. Graffiti art defaced by spectators in South Korea gallery. And that was the world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polywasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by CIB. New Year offer. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
In development news, the cabinet has approved a proposal to allocate 16 land plots in 9 industrial estates under the Ministry of Industries for the investors to set up new industries. The 9 industrial estates are Nalanda Industrial Park in Mathale, Bata Industrial Estate in Hambantota, Karandani Industrial Estate in Gaul, Udakava Industrial Estate in Mathara, Amalipiti Industrial Estate, Kaluthara Industrial Estate, Patikalo Industrial Estate and Navagampura Industrial Estate in Ampara. 16 land plots were given to investors on a 35-year lease basis with no rights to transfer the land plots to third parties. And that came to you in the segment of development news.
Development News was brought to you by CIB. New Year offer. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
Moving on to sports news, Bangladesh 2 Test Tour of Sri Lanka is set to begin on April 21st with both matches scheduled to be played in Pallekele. The team will arrive in Sri Lanka on the 12th of this month. The series had originally been slated to be played last October but was postponed due to COVID-19 pandemic. The second Bangladesh test will begin on April 29th with a 3-day break in between the games. There was a sports news, business news coming up.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, State Minister of Fisheries Kanchana Wijesekara says that the Fisheries Corporation will be reorganized soon. 500 million rupees has been allocated for this purpose. Under this program, 93 major trade stalls are to be modernized. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And in economic news, State Minister Ajith Niwad Cabral says that an economic growth of 5% is expected this year. He told SLBC that new projects and investments are needed for a rapid development of the country. He said that the essential institutions such as the Paddy Marketing Board have been made dysfunctional by the previous government. The present government has taken steps to strengthen the economy by reorganizing such institutions. That is economic news and the weather report to conclude.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And finally, the weather report, the Met Department says, except for a few showers in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts, mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central, Sabaragamuwa and western provinces during the morning hours. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 40 km per hour can be expected in the northern and northwestern provinces. And that was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. The president says the ideology that brought him into power must be protected from the enemy forces. The president stressed that the government will leave no room for the culprits who were responsible for the Easter Sunday attack to escape from the law. The Cabinet Subcommittee is to submit its report on the recommendations of the Easter Sunday Attack Commission to the President tomorrow. The Prime Minister proposes a Parliamentary Select Committee to address the shortcomings in the electoral system. Over 12,000 police officers and armed forces personnel have been deployed to cover all churches in Sri Lanka for the Easter Sunday service. In news overseas, France enters third national lockdown amid ICU surge. And in sports news, Bangladesh cricket team will arrive in Sri Lanka on the 12th of this month. And before we conclude this bulletin of news and hand over to your Sunday morning host and my good friend Chantima on the other side of the glass panel, let me wish all our dear, lovely Christian listeners out there a very blessed Easter. Bona Pascha.